Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Chrissy Sawyer here. How are you? How was your weekend? Um, I sense that I think in the last video I said there's another big gateway opening. Um, and I saw it as the end of July. For me, it happened this weekend. So I've had a really deep immersion into the new energies that are coming onto the planet, new old energies that are coming onto the planet for the whole weekend. And I'm not going to speak into it specifically because it's just so precious. So I'm going to stay in the honor of that, but the writing has started. So it'll take me a few days to unpack this. I might be quiet on YouTube this week. Again, there's something that guides me to protect the innocence of what's coming in and to give as much as I can, and both are true. And so we have notes. I'm going to read into these notes. And I think I'm going to call this video The Frontal Lobe. Did it get too big for its boots? The frontal lobe is the part of the brain that controls executive processes such as planning, organizing, initiation, self-monitoring. Its associated functions are self-control, emotional control, expression, problem-solving, memory, language, judgment, and voluntary behavior. It is the control panel, if you like, of our personality. So it's the outward going and our ability to communicate. The frontal lobe area is activated when we need to control our behaviors, to be socially appropriate, and to control our emotional responses, especially in social situations. Has our frontal lobe become so overdeveloped that it is eclipsing our natural, as in guided by nature, instinctual response to our environment? Has language undermined our natural telepathic lines of communication? Have we forgotten how to read energy? Has the frontal lobe turned us from peaceful wanderers into competitive adversaries? And where does our evolution extend beyond primate? A common example is the brief appearance of gill slits in early human embryos, reflecting the fact that we can trace our evolution back to fish. As I'm writing these notes, a memory comes in, so I can see how long I've been moving into these energies. You see, nothing is wasted. And a memory of my trip to Malden in the UK years ago, where I met stromatolite. And stromatolite is a river agate, and it's like it represents the primordial ooze. Malden salt has been made in England for at least 1,000 years. Mined by the Saxons, Malden salt is unique in its pyramid structure and comes from the ancient tidal salt marshes that run through the UK. Journeying with stromatolite took me through my ancient evolution into my water memory. And I was able to track my DNA back through sensory process from reptilian, back to amphibian, back to water baby. So sea creature, I could track that lineage back. Yeah, might be interesting to go back to my notes actually and see what else I can bring through, but let's see. It is increasingly clear that Neanderthals, long characterized as brutish dullards, were adaptable, capable, and sophisticated people. Archaeological findings continue to mount support for their development of sophisticated technologies, from the earliest known evidence of string to the manufacture of tar, Neanderthal cave art shows they indulged in complex symbolic thought. So in modern language, that might look like my weekend, or when you get a really complex download that cannot be communicated in a sentence or a paragraph, but instead is actually going to take you days to unpack. And we can communicate that from person to person like that. We have that. But we've created or expanded this frontal lobe that gets all tied up with language. And if you compare languages across the world, there are words for certain things in one language that another language won't have the word for. And so a lot gets lost. And can you see how I'm stammering on my words? This is a living example of how difficult it is to communicate nature's language through the frontal lobe, through the limitation of words. Neanderthal man had a prefrontal area that was about half the size of a modern human and less than half the size, less than 1/2 the size of Cro-Magnon. Since the time of Cro-Magnon, current man's frontal lobe has shrunk and continues to shrink. Okay. So yesterday I was given the word primordial, which describes most perfectly the energies that are hitting the planet now. It's like they're not hitting the planet, they're emerging from the planet. This is deep, old earth wisdom. And the ingredients that supported me on my personal experience this weekend were the Saxons, the Neanderthals, the Ice Age, and hippopotamus grazing in England, a stone's throw from my doorstep. It was a weekend of utter wonder and magic and the deepest peace I've ever experienced in my life. And I need to write that down, actually. And as I was unpacking it over the weekend, I got the words power without ego, love without need. And so that's what's coming in. I'm going to go to the musical alchemy cards just to see what else comes through, because I'd have to watch them again, but I think in the last couple of readings, there's been lots of this primordial dragon lines, really ancient wisdom erupting. So I think it's erupting, and as it erupts in, earth, it erupts in the body. I'm reminded that by coincidence, and I'm not saying they are linked, I'm just bringing this in. This weekend was the Mars-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, and it happened in Taurus in both Western and sidereal. Degree difference, but both Western and sidereal is happening in Taurus, which is the house of personal resource. And immediately I get books. And learning from books teaches us nothing unless it activates us energetically, and we can read the energy lines and walk the old energy lines like mammoth. I think, was it about a year ago, 2 years ago, I started saying, when all this comes down, all we will be left with is our instinct and our intuition. I think this is happening now. I think this is going to happen now. I hear what you learned, but what did you feel? I hear what you did, but what did you feel? How does that serve love? How did that serve you? Where was that in your body? Okay, let's have just a couple of cards. So Russell, the guy who worked with a small team to conceive of these ridiculously cosmic cards. Russ, if you're watching, I am getting your messages. I'm just going very quiet this week. So Russ and I are now friends. We have new friendship. Um, okay, bear with me. Right. I just noticed that this area where my bun is of my brain is activating. So for reference, I've printed myself a brain map and where I can feel the activity. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this to bring it home so that I'm not reading it and going, oh, yeah, I know that intellectually. I'm going there because I can feel it first. Okay, let's look for the truism. So this is the parietal lobe that's activating as I'm noticing that the cards aren't ready to give just yet. Parietal lobe, sensations, language, perception, body awareness, and attention. And sensory area, skin sensation, temperature, pressure, pain. So they're all natural mapping systems. Thank you. We're ready for you. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have card number 42. That 42 is giving me an alchemical marriage. Is that it's the two weaving itself into the four structure. So the two is showing itself to me as 2 points, which actually between them are creating the infinity symbol. Coming into that 6, the chalice, the heart, the harmony. So this is Juno, the asteroid Juno. It is an F sharp of the higher heart. Higher heart is innocence and purity, and this is what I'm in, is protecting the innocence and purity of my immersion this weekend. And the message is merging relationships. That is the two weaving itself into the structure of the four, coming straight into the container. Stop thinking, stop thinking. Just weave in the magic. So that's going to okay, temporal lobes activating. For me, this is space and time. Thank you. How it should have been. What I experienced this weekend was how it should have been. This as the Garden of Eden. People just walking in their nature self with no need to be anything, to be loving, to be kind, to be anything. It's just a natural state setting. Just that. Merging relationship. My heartbeat has actually moved into my higher heart now. Piano duet. Mirror souls. Mirror souls engender vitality. Hmm. What I've just seen in this symbol is this as the cosmos and this as Earth, as the embodiment. And the mirror souls is like the soul families coming online. And blending with the dragon. This is definitely dragon lines waking up. Definitely dragon lines waking up. Commitment, unbreakable loyalty. Oh gosh, that's beautiful. Because there's no thinking in it. There's no effort. This is effortless living. There's no effort in, am I loyal to this or not? Because there's no thinking. Because it's coming from within. There's either a pulse to support it or no pulse. And the action that matches that sensory perception is taken without thinking. Lasting union, open-hearted partnering. Wow. Okay, so we're given Libra and Sagittarius. Goodness me. Libra, liberation, the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the all. Sagittarius, the galactic center. And I now know these are known as the I am values. Okay, so I am inconstant, controlling, vindictive, threats and jealousy. Might need my spyglass in a minute. Confidence breaking, queen who misuses power when threatened. Aching maternal abandonment, rejects all love. So that's the shadow expression. And if any of those activate within you, then put those on your loving list and maybe bring some work to them. I am committed, wisdom, known purpose, living woven with another, goddess guiding babies to the light at birth, power to fully share your heart and soul purpose. Okay, I think I said recently, I defend my right to change my mind on a sixpence. I'm going to change my mind on a sixpence because one of the blinding things that came in this weekend was what I'm doing now. Do I give it the word purpose? Let's just hang loose on that. But it was a thing, and I've never seen it before. Okay, so it came in because I was ready, and caused my eyebrows to creep up into my hairline. Okay, so I'm going to get loose on the word purpose. I've been a bit sound purpose. I think because the mind gets all important. A soul purpose might just be an energetic thing that comes online, ping, and you know it when you know it. It's no more important. It isn't important. And very often, it's actually the thing you've been doing most of your life without really noticing, the effortless thing. Okay, Juno, what's the underlying? Okay, interesting. So we have another asteroid called Pholus, which is coming in on A sharp. This is the nervous system. And the law of unintended consequences. This takes me straight to human engineering. I didn't think it through because I couldn't feel it. I was mapping on thought rather than feeling. That's interesting. I'm looking straight at a bottle of mineral water on my desk, and its slogan is, "We're supporting mind." Mind is an organization. We're supporting mind. And just notice where your intuition is taking you. Just notice any thoughts and feelings or images. Yeah, this is the abstract, complex, intuitive, sensing, feeling organism rather than the thinking mind. Acceptance of fate creation, two endings as options. So we're talking about polarity here. Unreturned kindness, psychic sophistication, radical shifts. Taurus and Ophiuchus. That speaks straight to the card number. Let me have I shown you the card? Shall I show you the card? Ophiuchus speaks straight to that 48-12-3. I am because I made myself. I am ruled by nothing and no one. I am my own dignity. I am my own sovereign. I am universal law. And where that gets wrapped up in importance creates very shady Ophiuchus. People who are born under the sign of Ophiuchus, I believe, have some serious fire testing to go through. Power without ego. I do like those words together, though. Psychic sophistication. Yeah. And the two I ams. I am negligent, reckless, dark, Eve, vengeance. Dark Eve, vengeance. I love this man's way with words. Dark Eve. Yeah, that speaks straight to Lilith. The vengeance of the ostracized feminine. I'm speaking about Lilith as a mathematical point in astrology, which marks the darkest point of the moon when it's right out, far, far away. Our most hidden emotions, our most hidden sensory perception, our most wounded instinct. That's not pointed at women. Okay, that's pointed at human. Manipulation of fathers, punisher of women when angry. Prefers the company of men that can be controlled. Oh gosh, that's wow. I'm not speaking to that, but well, interesting. The next card is Hygeia, the making clean and the healing. The surgeon. I love it. Yeah, that speaks to men that can be controlled. Oh, I just listen. It's election season on a Mars Uranus conjunction in Taurus. Okay, If you can't by now see the hollow shell of the puppets that we put on podiums, you are blind. I am protective, guardian. Feast of the bath. Feast of the bath. Goddess of owl vision. Tactical defender and valiant champion. Creatrix of the olive trees as a gift of peace. Bear with me, I can't switch the light off. Cute. Okay. Yeah. Hygeia. The only words that jump out, I don't want, I have to go soon, are healthy biome awareness. Okay. This is such a highly engineered piece of kit. It is capable of the most magnificent things. It's amazing, the human body. Sensory perception. Okay. So, Hygeia, gut love, gut health. Gut health is related to gut wisdom, gut response, instinct. This is the animal. Okay. Right. I'm going to go to the shaman deck. Mystical shaman. I'm being given the words stromatolite again. Check it out for yourself. Maybe buy a piece. I'm sorry about that glaring light. Strom, Stromatolite. Stromatolite wants me to speak the energy into these cards. Okay, so Sun has come out on Juno, which is the merging relationships. I noticed to support this gateway this weekend, continual M-class solar flares and radio blackouts. For 3 days, I'm getting constant notifications. So solar activation of the primordial self. Phrase that as a question. See how you feel about that. Yeah. I get Earth Spirit with this. Earth Spirits. Conquered. The law of, so that's come out on top of Pholus and the law of unintended consequences. Mm. Did our fear of something magical crush our relationship with it? Would be the question there. Here I get power over or power to activate. So my first sense was this as a birthing planet, this as nothing but a ball of fusing elements, becoming something, and the higher mind coming in, that higher vision, the universal vision coming in to encode the planet. And then my mind went to, well, no offense, but America, but you could speak to any dynastic company, dynastic country who has turned that into power over, the power of control. So we're talking about power without ego, love without need. 16. That will take us, so that might be taking us into August. That's an 8-8 code, 8 months in an 8 year. In the collective, that's 26-8, 36-9 as a completion in there. So we might have a decision point coming in August. And it's like a movement. It's a turning towards or turning away. It's that simple. There's no vengeance there. It's a choice. It's a turning toward and a turning away. In every experience in life, there is a choice. And I'm racking my brains to find the example where there is no choice. There was no choice, and I haven't found it yet. Even in the case of life and death, there is always a choice. Okay. There's an invitation now coming through this ghost dance card because it's pointing me towards 22-4 that wants to build. And it's coming through on that 48-12-3 of what am I? The expansion, the alignment, the birth. So the 48 wants to birth the blueprint. And what if the blueprint is to remember and reactivate and bring to life the ghosted part of you? Yeah, yeah, the ghosted part of you. The part that can speak to soil, that can commune with a mountain. This is beautiful. But then I can only see things as beautiful at the moment because I'm in such delicious energy. It might be different this time next week when I've fully grounded into my boots. That's it. I want to keep it simple and I want to wrap up with, yeah, Nature's Whispers by Angela Hartfield. Closing message, please. It doesn't do us well to know too much. When we know too much, we're not building anything new. So if we're talking about the higher heart of innocence and purity, we're talking about watching a child play. Children create through accidents and impulses and freedom. But we've gotten so deeply entrenched into creating in a box that we're actually creating the same thing again and again and again and calling it something different. what we're building, we might not even be able to conceive of right now. And it will come in a series of steps that attune and align the mind, the self and the body to a liberated way of being in the world. Absolutely. We're talking about the three of the blueprint and bringing the blueprint in. It cannot be the same. And so we must learn to celebrate difference in one another, to see each other's weirdness and celebrate the beauty of that, or the oddness of it, or the discomfort of it, whatever, whatever. It's not about you. When someone else expresses, they're expressing in front of you. That's honor enough. That's the gift. They're sharing a part of themselves with you. It's not about you. Just hold space, get quiet, watch, observe, learn like a child. What is this? Hmm. 3710-1, it's fusing the blueprint into the mind. And the one wants to birth an ideal course of action. That's a reset. Yeah, that's the word, reset. That's what this feels like. But I daren't make that choice, I hear. Who's that speaking? Okay, that's a choice. Daring not to is a choice. '48 again. Oh, gorgeous. Oh, the hair as DNA. So in a lot of sacred practices, bear with me. So in a lot of sacred practices, hair and growing the hair or not cutting the hair is symbolic of ability to use the hair as active DNA, the active psyche. Okay. And I wanted to show you an image of this beautiful woman. This is her hair. And when her husband died, she stopped cutting her hair and became a sadhu, Sabrida Shing. And this woman came to me years ago and helped me to birth a poem. Actually, shall I read it to you? This is the poem. It's called Shadow Walker. Oh, I wonder if that goes with that. She creeps silent and deeply aware, whispering through your shadows, bird song in the murky gloom, and you sense her presence. Dread and fear fill the space, drumbeat of pain and sorrow, that darkness you keep hidden. With barely a look, she senses hidden story, for she feels it very deeply, and in that moment, she is you. She is your witness, your comrade, your father, your mother, bringing ancestor forward to witness your journey. You are not alone. Many have felt what you feel. Many have suffered at the handmaiden of loss. Many have kissed hopelessness hard on the mouth, felt the pain of losing like scar on bone. Only to rise again, only to thrive again, to roam through ancient woodland with Shadow Walker. That's it. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave you with my love. And I will see you all again when the time is right. Much love. Bye.